Hi, I'm Tammy Jansen, co-founder of Astartc Medical. We're developing a software and data analytics platform quantifying gut health in the first 1,000 days of life. We're witnessing an alarming health crisis. 1 in 5 school-aged children is obese. 9 million children have developmental disabilities. 18% of inflammatory bowel disease presents before age 10, and 1 in 13 children has a food allergy. We now understand these conditions to be driven by the intestinal microbiome. The gut microbiome refers to all the microbes in your intestines that act as another organ that's crucial for your health. And never is gut health more important than in the first 1,000 days of life, starting at conception through age 2. This is a unique window of opportunity, as it's during this period that the foundations for lifelong health are largely set. It's the period of most rapid change in your microbiome. Proper nutrition during this period can have a profound impact on a child's ability to grow, learn, and thrive. Astartc Medical is initially focused on the smallest and highest risk patients during this period, preterm infants. So I'd like you to introduce you to Sam. Sam was born at 26 weeks gestational age, weighing just 520 grams. He spent 101 days in the neonatal ICU, and when he went home, he was still only 4 pounds. This is Sam today. He's now 4, but he still only weighs 25 pounds. He's had some significant growth challenges in his young life. If Sam were born 50 years ago, he wouldn't have survived. But due to advances in modern medicine, we can now survive infants at just 22 weeks gestational age. The earlier the gestational age, the longer the stay in the hospital. Infants born under 32 weeks gestational age will stay an average of 77 days. And after the initial stabilization period, the majority of this time is spent feeding and growing. However, for the clinical teams who care for these tiny babies, they create complex challenges related to feeding and gut health. Like Sam, 50% will suffer from growth failure, and over 40% from neurodevelopmental delays and disabilities. And they're all at greater risk of immune-mediated disease. The gut plays a huge role in all of these conditions. The gut is the organ that drives growth and brain development, and it's the largest organ of immunity, impacting disease across your lifespan, such as asthma, allergy, and obesity. But unlike organs like the heart and lungs, there is no vital sign for the gut. Our solution uses software and predictive analytics to optimize feeding and nutrition and quantify gut health for preterm infants. It's clinical decision support software that integrates with the electronic medical record, leveraging data that's already collected as part of routine care. It provides real-time monitoring of gut health, reduces practice variability, and improves growth and cognitive outcomes. We currently have 2 products on our platform. Our first product to market is called Guidance. It's a patient safety and compliance tool. Guidance is an interactive dashboard at the bedside that automates a hospital's enteral feeding protocol and improves nurse workflow. Our back-end reporting analyzes compliance and corresponding outcomes. Guidance is currently in pilot at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. Our flagship product, Magi, introduces the microbiome and gut inflammation score. Magi leverages microbial health risk factors about mom and baby found in the medical record, applies our proprietary algorithm to stratify infants at risk, enabling clinicians to personalize care. So for Magi, we are building a comprehensive and proprietary data set of preterm infant gut health. We're collecting inputs such as mode of birth, antibiotic use, mom's BMI, and use of breast milk and formula, along with outcomes such as microbiome sequence data, growth metrics, and absence or presence of disease. When we relate these inputs to the corresponding outcomes, patterns emerge. Our Magi algorithm is built to reproduce those patterns. So in the clinic, we are taking information about mom and baby, applying our algorithm to produce a Magi risk score, that needed vital sign for the gut. So let's take a look at 2 babies, baby Chance and baby Hope, both admitted into the NICU at 28 weeks, weighing 900 grams. Currently, care in the NICU is based largely on age and weight, which doesn't account for the inherent differences in the microbiome. So today, these 2 babies would be cared for exactly the same way. Because we have no way to measure the state of the gut, they'll both be given antibiotics, there will be fits and starts to feeding, and because we don't know which babies can benefit from probiotics, they're generally not used in the NICU. So Magi stratifies infants at risk. So for baby Chance, whose microbial factors indicate high risk, the clinical team can be confident in their use of antibiotics, they can be slow and deliberate with feeding, and could use probiotics to attenuate that inflammation. In contrast, baby Hope has microbial factors that establish her as low risk, enabling better stewardship of antibiotics, more aggressive feeding, and perhaps the use of prebiotics to help support her healthy microbial community. So as I mentioned, we're currently in pilot with our guidance product at Brigham and Women's Hospital, and we have a large pipeline of hospitals we're targeting for our commercial launch next year. We've established data partnerships with leading centers from around the world to continue to build on our data set. We have strategic advisors from Nestle, Philips, and Janssen, and we have a patent pending on our Magi solution. We price based on a SaaS model, software as a service, based on annual NICU admissions. By shortening that length of stay, we can improve hospital margins and provide a 5 times return on investment for our hospital clients. The benefits to all stakeholders influence the purchase decision. Hospitals benefit from standardization of care and better quality and patient safety. Clinicians will have real-time monitoring of gut health, enabling a tailored use of antibiotics and probiotics. And babies will have better cognitive and growth outcomes and will get home sooner to their families. We also have a future opportunity to partner on our data set with companies like these that are looking for an evidence-based tool to help develop new microbial interventions. So our SaaS model provides for excellent scalability and excellent margins. As you can see, it doesn't take many implementations for us to reach profitability. And in fact, we only need to penetrate 6% of the market to make our 2022 numbers. Our initial market entry point are the 400 level 3 and 4 NICUs here in the US. We're targeting large labor and delivery hospitals, those with digital health initiatives and payer provider systems where ROI is most impactful. With the launch of Magi, we can scale to all NICUs, a market of over $750 million in the US, $2 billion globally. There are companies out there looking at the microbiome to diagnose disease, but they all require sequencing to provide results. Currently, sequencing is not done at the bedside. It takes too long to get results and it's too expensive. Clinicians rely on their own experience and symptoms. Although sequencing is essential to the development of Magi, our software uses data to provide real-time gut health monitoring at the bedside without the need for sequencing. So we're starting with neonatal and plan to go to market with a small direct sales force and through channel partners like EMR integration companies. Our next market is prenatal, so developing a Magi score for pregnant moms to help prevent preterm birth and improve infant outcomes. And eventually we plan to move to early infant nutrition, partnering with a mom and baby consumer company. Astartc Medical was founded by myself and Tracy Warren. We've worked together for the last 18 years at 3 venture capital funds. Tracy's a serial entrepreneur and holds an MBA from Columbia Business School. I spent 15 years as a venture fund CFO. I'm a CPA and a Kaufman Fellow. Jeff Sherman joined us in January as our CTO after 17 years at Accenture. And Kate Gregory is our scientific co-founder. Kate started her career as a NICU nurse and is now a well-regarded clinical translational scientist, having spent the last 12 years studying the preterm infant gut health. We've assembled a distinguished group for our scientific and technical advisory board with a mix of backgrounds and experience to help provide us with external objective perspective. We have some exciting news to share that we were one of 5 companies recently accepted to the Illumina Accelerator. Illumina is a $50 billion publicly traded company and a global leader in DNA sequencing. As part of the program, we get 6 months residence at their state-of-the-art facility in Foster City, California, with unlimited access to reagents and sequencing equipment, allowing us to generate an unprecedented amount of data at a fraction of the cost. Also, as part of this program, they provide dollar-for-dollar match funding up to $5 million. So we're really excited about that. We're currently raising a $4 million Series A. We have investment from some top angel groups and strategics, and as a matter of fact, are having our first close on Thursday of this week, so yay. So remember Sam. As I said, Sam is 4 years old and he weighs 25 pounds, which is the same size as a 21-month-old. So what if Magi were around 4 years ago? We could have predicted his trend to gut inflammation. We could have used probiotics to help attenuate that inflammation, which would have meant better growth for Sam and perhaps even could have prevented his GI disease. So we can have a meaningful and measurable impact on kids like Sam. So please come and talk to me about how Astartc Medical plans to improve health outcomes in the first 1,000 days of life and help create the healthiest generation yet. Thank you.
This was great. Thank you so much. I feel like everything I wrote down, you then covered it at one point or another. I will say a couple things just to call out that I think are really helpful for everyone. Bringing a customer into it and really making it relatable in terms of Sam and telling that story, I think is really powerful. So anytime you can highlight and tell a personal story that where your product could have made an impact, it is helpful, as well as the comparison of the two babies. But that was also very helpful for me to see the power of your product, because on paper, as you said, those two babies were exactly the same. Mm-hmm. But what you could really tell by using one of your products is that they're actually not, and treating them would be very different. So I thought that was done really well. Also sharing any news, like getting into an accelerator, any rounds of funding, that's always really helpful when in a pitch, and it's always exciting. So great job. I really don't have a lot of feedback on the negative side.
So the problem with this is all three of you are really good, experienced pitches. I mean, you know, it's hard to give criticism, frankly, to any of you, because you clearly know what you're doing. I mean, these are all people that have been doing this for a while and have perfected their skill. So, you know, congratulations on that, and on getting into Illumina and on your first close. Raising money, I'm going to say some general things. Raising money takes a whole lot of time. You know, if you think you need money in a month or two, you're too late. You need to really plan ahead, talk to your advisors, talk to, you know, everybody in the community, start networking early, get to know people. It takes a huge amount of time to raise money, especially in the early stages. And I think you'll all nod on this one, right? I loved your slides on the management and the advisors. That always captures my attention. Who is surrounding the company? Who is really helping these people out? Are they the type of people that can take advice from others, or are they closed-minded? Yet, are they the type of people who can lead? So you have that. You want to have a leader who can take advice. So you need to have that balance. Once again, I would love to know who might buy this someday. It does help to say that, even though sometimes it may seem obvious to the founders who would be interested in this. And maybe a little more about how to break into those markets and how to sell. The healthcare industry is a tricky one. And how to break in, even if you have the best product in the world, and change behavior is always a challenge. Obviously, having tests at big institutions like you have already is very helpful. So I thought that was all of these presentations were really great.